General Turgidson, the question's simple enough. Could Thunderbolts with drop tanks have escorted our bombers all the way into German targets in 43?
Mr. President, despite what the guys in North America say about their understandably vaunted P-51 Mustang, well, we believe that's sufficiently right to...
General, just answer the question. Could they have made it over German targets in 43 or not?
Big plane like the Thunderbolt, racked out with extra fuel tanks. Could they have made it to targets in Germany? Hell...
Well, hello, Glue Troopers. Max of Max's Models here, and I know I said I wasn't going to put any more content out till I got home, but after my last video, I stumbled on to a video by Greg over at Greg's Airplanes and Automobiles, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with his channel. He does fantastic work, thoroughly researched. I watch as many of his videos as I can. Well, come to find out that he actually occasionally watches this channel. So Greg, I hope you get to see this one. Maybe we can have him on a live stream at some point. But he was just involved in, I guess it was a Zoom session with another aviation historian who I have to admit I'm not terribly familiar with, but they were discussing, or I should say, actually they had competing arguments about whether or not the P-47 Thunderbolt with drop tanks could have escorted the bombers deep into Germany on the raids when they were flying beyond their fighter escort if they'd had sufficient drop tanks. And it's a very long and in-depth video. Both of them made great arguments. They both had supporting documents, which I think tended to kind of show how complicated the military-industrial complex could be, because some of them had documents saying that we do want to do this, and some say we don't. And it wouldn't surprise me if both of these attitudes existed inside the same command and certain aspects of industry. But they get into it in great detail, way more than I can get into it here. If you are a World War II history buff or an aviation buff, especially if you're interested in the air war over Europe in the Second World War, this is kind of a must-see. Well, Greg did a follow-on video that I'll link below where he actually, I had the good luck to be available and on the computer when this was going on, and I put in a couple questions, which Greg actually talked about. One's at the 3-minute mark and one's way down about the middle of the video. But yes, I was channeling my sort of inner Buck Turgidson when I asked about the drop tank war. And also I'd made the comment that it's easy for us to, to judge decisions made on aircraft design in hindsight, but I don't think I was responding to anything they said. I think I was responding to a comment one of the other viewers made. And I think it was a question like, why didn't all the airplanes have drop tank access or mounts on the wings out of the factory or something like that, which later on in the war I think they did. But they get into all of that. And it's really, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I mean, it's a get into the weeds kind of session. These guys are both at the doctoral Olympic level on information research, way beyond me. I'm the guy who knows a lot about airplanes from reading the instruction sheets on kit models and a couple of books. I have read Jimmy Doolittle's book, but I tend to lean, and there's a bias built in here because I love Greg's work, so I do sort of tend to lean more towards Greg's side of the argument. Having been in the military, he didn't say anything that I didn't find completely plausible. But I hope you guys will go out and watch it if you have even a remote interest in this stuff. I want to thank Greg for answering a couple of my questions, responding to them, and but the gentleman he was talking with is also a very well respected, extremely knowledgeable individual, and he could very well be right. I'll let those two duke it out. I mean, we're talking about the clash of the titans here, and I just really loved it. It's the kind of stuff that I'm that kind of airplane nerd. I can really get into this sort of stuff. So Greg, once again, thanks for addressing my stuff. And as far as your counterpart's concerned, he made excellent points. You both guys, actually, I'm really kind of undecided because you both made such cogent, well-informed arguments, and I'm probably more confused now than I was going in, but at least I'm confused for the right reasons. Too much information is too little. Like everyone else, I had bought off on the old story that the Thunderbolt didn't have the range and we had to wait on the Mustang. And Greg does a pretty good job of disassembling a lot of that argument. So anyway, guys, I go out and check it out if you like. Like I said, I'll put the link below, and we will talk to everybody later. Live stream Saturday night, 7 p.m. East Coast time, 2300 Zulu. We'll talk at you then. And as always, model on.